Episode 374, The Rant, Devin Ellerbe, and Ralph the Ref. It's been a while. I chop it up with longtime friend and developing multi-sport official, Devin Ellerbe, where we talk about the basketball season that was, their experience taking the girls' lacrosse officiating class, and so much more. Spring has sprung, so we also get into flag football and the softball season upcoming. My conversation, recap of the season with Devin, coming up right now. The Rant has been brought to you by the Premier Flag Football League of LI, Long Island Legends. It's an adult flag football league which has a multitude of fields in both Nassau and Suffolk County with games played on Sundays. The spring season is upon us and is rapidly approaching, starting April 7th. Interested in signing up a team? Interested individually coming on as a free agent? What about reffing? Be sure to follow and DM us at LI Legends on Instagram. Welcome to another edition of The Rant. I'm your host, Ralph the Ref. I'm with a super special guest. This is such an honor for me because we talked about this off here, just about so many things that I can articulate of the machinations of like what you need to look like a ref, what do you need to do in certain situations, and like it's really cool to see people grow. Not necessarily all the way under my tutelage, but just listening to like just the little things that I have to say. You know, an amazing gentleman that I used to play flag football with. I've been trying to get him on this pod, but he was like, I don't want to be on it. But somebody that's at this point, year 2 for basketball, been doing flag football for a while, but used to be on my original flag football team. The same team that I ended up learning how to get into reffing. But Mr. Devin Ellerbe, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's really weird because I've been trying to get you on this. Like, I'm like, just want to hear.
I know.
So what made you want to finally get on the mic?
Hey, yo. You know what it is?
You were like, you know what? I heard so many podcasts. I think I could finally be on one.
Nah. Now that I'm kind of in this same, reffing.
Oh, you at my level now is what you're saying?
Not at all. I'm now kind of going through some of the same things that you mentioned before, some of the same experiences. I completed the first full year, I guess, of going through the, school season. And I'm parlaying that with actually listening to, your other episodes. Some of them didn't really hit me, I guess, the way I would or you would, understand, I guess, if you're not in the actual field of reffing. Mm-hmm. Like listening to it is just, it's good. You see, while you're working or something, or while you're doing something, it's just whatever. It's conversations going on. But when you're going through those things and you hear those stories and hear those experiences, you're like, it feels different to you. Like, okay, I understand that. I remember that. I know that place. I know that person.
Right.
And I kind of felt like now I have more to offer, I guess. I have something to say. And that's really why, I felt like, okay, I could come on now and give my little 2 cents, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's much needed help, something that, I spent like the last 2 months, especially like you could see how tight it is and clean it is here. Like I think aesthetically speaking, it makes you feel like a very creative. But by the way, when I first moved here, I thought this was like cops, like gunshots. My wife, first time she heard it, she's like, oh my God, what do we do? But it's the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't sound like that when you first end up here. But, I was able to work on my home office inside, which is like overlooking the balcony, which overlooks the chop shop. But slowly but surely, what the biggest piece to fall was back in November, my boy Ross, shout out to Ross, he was gracious enough to know a family that was in Rockford Center where their parents were ending up getting older. And they had, a couple of furniture pieces. And he knew, like, I'm always in the market of just, like, trying to improve this place. So he thought about me, and he had, like, this real nice round white table. And he had this nice sofa, which before, if you could envision, you could see, like, where the whiteboard is. The left side of the whiteboard was where the last couch stopped. But now it goes all the way around. So now it makes it in a way where, like, everything, what's so cool about it is that I feel like every passing day, I'm just constantly thinking about improvement here. So, like, sometimes, like, a shoe drops. Like, that TV used to be over there. And as you can see, there's the remnants of but now that I moved it there, it's just more functional in so many different ways. And that wouldn't be possible if that wasn't extended or this TV wasn't there or that TV wasn't there. And it's cool that it pieces
Pieces fit together.
Yeah. But, I just think, and shout out to Irv Armand. We're going to get into him. I don't even think I told you this. I got back into girls lacrosse because of one conversation that Irv and I had. And I got him into baseball. I got him into flag football. I got into a whole bunch of things. But one sport that we did do together was girls lacrosse. I did it during the pandemic. Our field test was supposed to be the same day everything shut down. But Irv ended up continuing to do it. And you could genuinely hear, like, how much he was happy that they were supportive of him, probably in a way something that I didn't do at all, that he was getting, he was doing well in. And, that always intrigued me. So, when he passed away and I really self-reflected, I was like, you know what, I kind of told Jimmy, who I did not know who was going to be the teacher. I didn't know he was going to be the teacher. His daughter's on my volleyball team. And I was just kind of, she was telling me, like, my dad's a girls' college lacrosse. I'm like, what? That makes no sense because he's the football coach at Kellenberg. So, like, I know him from a completely different context, but, like, just for him to observe as a parent and, like, understanding, like, the gauntlet that his daughter's going through, I just sparked up a conversation where I'll never forget. We were at Francis Lewis High School.
Franny Lou.
Yeah. And we were at a tournament. It was, like, all day. It was raining, kind of like today. And I told him about my situation. My field test was, like, the day everything shut down, and then they asking me for, like, money for dues. I'm like, I don't get it. So he's like, I'll talk to them. And then he was like, not only did I talk to him, you're in, and I'm the teacher. I was like, what? That makes no sense. So that's when I started telling all of y'all, get up on this. And I think that's cool because, you identify me as a veteran in a specific sport. You're a little bit further in another sport. But here it's like we were able to, even though I did it before, it was like I just took that all away. I just was like, I'm brand new. I'm not going to talk about when I did it before. We're just going to do it the same. So, and this is probably a new experience because, girls lacrosse. I don't know if I'm speaking for Devin, but both of us combined, I think we have a knowledge base of like 2%.
If that.
I don't know nothing about no girls lacrosse, but what was your experience like taking that class?
It was good. I actually enjoyed it. It's cool going into something with like a clean slate, not knowing nothing, and then this whatever you pick up is what you learn is the newest thing that day. Like, okay, cool. This is different. So I'm here for it. It's much different than basketball.
I know y'all ain't ringing like me. I already had some games, but I'm gonna say this:
Saturday.
Yeah, you got the fear of God, don't you?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sunday is my PAO first game, so we'll see how that goes.
Nervous?
No. Ask me again. Saturday morning around 9:00. I'll say Sunday around 9:00. Ask me then. But now I'm cool now. I'll probably do a little studying, a little prepping beforehand, and
Yeah, I suggest bringing the rule book with you open.
Oh, definitely.
And calling someone and go, you know what? It's this right here. Look at this illustration. Illustration 1-14. That's what you did. 2 minutes going this way. I have no clue what's going on, but I'll give you a couple of observations that I have as
Mayor.
A basketball rep. what I do appreciate about girls lacrosse from the 2 games that I've done so far in my whole entire life is that a lot of it is, in basketball, I feel like you go 5:37. This is what you should have done, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. The difference between that and lacrosse is that there's so many different ways you can interpret one action.
It's more gray,
and depending on your severity of like safety, that's what the call is. And instead of basketball, you're doing so much more direct. No, you go here, because no one knows anything. And what I really, really, really like about it is that the parents know less than what you know. So in basketball, everyone in their mind, like right now we watching the halftime report of the Oklahoma City game and 76ers. And then we got the boys version of the high school McDonald's All-American game, which we just saw. And we'll get into that Luha situation. But, we inundated with basketball. There's never been one time I've been in a chop shop, nor anywhere I've ever lived, where we like get hyped up for the lacrosse championship game. But truth be told, Long Island is a hotbed for it. So I'm just trying to tell you, I see the potential of what this could be. And we'll talk about this because this is why we really on. It's more of like the recap of basketball and just like what we've been through since volleyball ended, because basketball just seemed like a marathon. But what I like about lacrosse is that it has nothing to do with anything that I've ever experienced in basketball. It's just like opening up a different side of your brain. So your first game is on Saturday, and you're not nervous. Do you feel like that class really prepared you at the very least to just have your wits about you?
Yeah, I would say so. Everyone was very supportive, from the instructors to even just our classmates, whatever. I just always felt like, if I didn't know, someone there would at least let me know, or at least point me in the right direction, I felt. So yeah, it was cool.
Not only they point you in the right direction, they show you that we're all united in not knowing.
Yes. Knowing faith to fung, you're right.
I mean, I was definitely letting y'all know, like I told you, don't expect no leadership out of me. So I want to go back to early November. And I think when I tell you some things, and I tell you like what's kind of happened, you probably think that's weird that I know to the T like what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that's far away from me, but
many years ago,
I know what it feel like though. I know what it feel like to and like I was feeling myself like I knew what I could do in flag football. It's just that like I didn't know how to navigate the world, and I just had no connections like that.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you really have to like do what you do. So I want to say, first and foremost, I want to say my goal every year in and year out, aside from doing the best that I could possibly do, is I want to at the very least improve. And that's really the basis of anything that I try to do. I'm not even trying to but what I'll say to you is, when you've already achieved a level of success, it's really hard to not only sustain that level of success, but surpass that level of success when you've gotten so far the year before that.
Yeah.
So I can honestly say this has been the 6th year where it's been progressive success that I got a little further and further.
Okay.
Which every year towards the end, I'm like, I find it hard to believe that I'm ever going to be able to top it. And I do. But that's never the mindset when you're going through it. Now, I just go back to the whole shock of volleyball being gone, because there's a week between when volleyball ends and basketball begins. And I take that week off only to self-reflect because I got to shave my beard. I might have to open a rule book. I might have to submit a test. And I'm just not in that mode yet. I'm just not. I've been coaching this long. So this year, definitely, my cobwebs were wild. It took me a little while, but then I think I had my first boys game and I went, oh yeah, I remember that I got to run like this. Tell me what your mindset was in November, because, last year you didn't really have that many middle school games. You didn't have any.
Yeah, no. Nah.
Right? So I'm looking at you you already wasted a year.
Yeah.
So tell me what November brought and like what you were doing?
So November, I was doing, the bare minimum, the little reg games, the league, little whatever games, and I just remembered, okay, it's gonna start to get real soon. I know, and your real, my reels obviously is different much. I was getting new experiences. I was getting things that I hadn't seen before. So
I think your reel is harder than my reel.
And well, harder compared to what when you started?
No, I mean like my reel is like I'm still understanding of like what it's gonna be, even though I might not have done it.
Okay,
I've been through too many of the same type of experiences to just know that like people care about this more than normal, right? But where you're at is like you're still trying to get you're still trying to master the reffing part.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Once you master the reffing part, it's a different ball game. But
yes.
Go ahead.
But so yes, you're mastering the reffing part. You're mastering so a major part of reffing is just talking to people, just knowing how to actually just have a conversation with someone that doesn't have to actually do with the actual reffing or calling it how it is. It's a matter of just listening to what someone says. It could be a complaint from a parent, could be a complaint from a coach, even a player. Just hearing what they say and not internalizing it, not taking it personally and being like, oh, okay, they're coming at me because I did this, and not just hearing what they say. Taking it in and figuring out how you're going to deal with that. Are they right? Are they wrong? Are you gonna adapt that and change with your approach, whatever it may be. But that is one of the major things in regards to me. Like, I'm gonna miss calls. We all know refs gonna miss calls, whatever. I'm not gonna see things that might be out of position, whatever. I'm still, a year, 2 years in, whatever. So I understand that whole part of it, but just things outside of actually, well, I guess it is part of reffing, right? But things not dealing with, the X and O's, the stripes of, whatever the term is, of actually reffing, is what I'm still kind of, trying to figure out and everything. So, and also, being more confident and having a stronger whistle and all the other things besides, being in position and having,
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is, but I enjoy it though.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And that's the way you should feel because, I mean, I'm not 100. I mean, I've been doing it 10 years, but I never feel like I'm ever going to get it. Mm-hmm. But I do the best that I can. Mm-hmm. And trust, once you master the whole thing, that's when the real fun begins. Mm-hmm. And I'm very interested for you to get up to that point. So I want to say December was when I started getting like, some serious games. And like, you don't really think about it until like, you go like, oh, look who's in the stands. Oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of coaches here. And, oh, there's a lot of refs here. And, I think I had like maybe 40 of those games, which is a lot, right? Yeah. It's a lot. So, I got to perform. And that comes with a different responsibility because aside from mastering it, I'm at the point of like, they trust me to be on these games because, it's going to be not as many mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's really what reffing is about. Like, you could be a master of the rules, like, some people I know, or you could be game managers like me.
That's what it is, policing and managing the game.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to give a special shout out to two of my mentors. One is Kaz DeLillo. I just want to say that it probably would be hard for him to justify all the games he give me. But it probably isn't hard to justify when I do my part and I show up on the court and I do my thing. I could understand if I wasn't doing my thing and I was getting them games. That's a different story, but I appreciate everything that you've done for me, or your guidance, your wisdom, your patience, your ability to just like, make right decisions, how you see fit. And, I appreciate the talk that you gave me all those years back when you told me that I'm wasting my time reffing in the city. Because I really do enjoy having the GPSA, it's sometimes like 6 minutes from my house, which is much appreciated. And then Ernie Rudloff, interpreter of Board 119, the professionals. Thank you for the opportunity. First of all, thank you for your friendship. Probably weird meeting somebody like 40 years later in your reffing career, and you bond with. Thankful for all the premier Luha games that I had a fortunate circumstance to be participating in that, just being the same, floor, running back and forth with these amazing athletes that I just saw play in the All-American McDonald's game, which is, that's weird. Weird that I live like in proximity to the number one team in the country, which is also going for the national title. So thank you for, those spotlight games. And then, John Papa, who always feed me in the underground. And I think I put a lot of pride into that of, being able to go back and forth between both worlds, being malleable, not being too big for, a situation. And, we talked about off air about just graduating certain situations. That don't mean I'm above a game.
Yeah.
Like I'll ref whatever. I just enjoy reffing so much. So, and then January came. I'd say like around late January, February. That's when your season starts ramping up, right? Your middle school games. So just talk about your experience doing these middle school games.
It's funny. I'm in a. It was a weird situation. Not even weird. It was unique in the sense that, as I mentioned, last year I didn't really do the middle school games, and then this year my first games was JV games. So I'm starting out with whatever amount of games of JV games before I even get to the middle school games. So I'm getting, and I guess they weren't the top end of players, or I guess, I don't want to besmirch anyone's school, but, the games are okay. Nothing special. But just the experience I was getting was a little more than others who would start in, I guess, middle school and work their way, whatever. But, once I did the JV game, the middle school game was nothing to me, and I know I shouldn't have treated it like that, but and it's the game wasn't given the same gravitas as the JV games was, obviously, but it was cool. It was just once I got into a rhythm of how to approach each game and come in and greet everyone and start the game. It was cool. It was nothing.
I think it's an excellent experience.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sad I don't get none of them games no more.
You miss it?
Yeah, I miss it, man. It's like, but you know what though? Last year I had like 3 games, and I noticed how out of place I was. Like, whoa, this ref is too polished. He don't belong here at all. Because you can see, like, this guy just got hired as a math teacher. You know what I'm saying? He's here. This is what he's here for.
Yeah.
So, I respect that whole hustle. But I want to say by the time it was late January, early February is like, you'll get like, you don't realize it, but you do, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is senior night. And there was like a 2-week period where I was doing like, I'll give you an example. I did Carl Place versus East Rockaway. And I'm there, right? And it was crazy. Shout out to Emma Poland and her mom, Sherry Poland, coach of East Rockaway, Nassau Defensive Player of the Year was Emma. And what's so crazy? I spent all this time reffing her during the summer when she was like in 8th grade, 9th grade. I knew that was her mom, but just to think of that, all these years have elapsed. I've grown with them at the same time. She's finally a senior Defensive Player of the Year. I have the fortunate circumstance. Now I'm burnt. Like, I don't want to ref no more. But here I am at East Rockaway High School, seeing the heart and soul of the East Rockaway community, Emma Poland, on a senior night. And her mom is the coach. And she's doing the speech. And she's like holding back tears. And I'm like, I can't believe the fortune that I'm at this game. Like, yeah, I'm reffing, but like, wow, it's like, who would have thought that one day this 9th grader would be this good, and I would do her last regular season game at East Rockaway. So it was a weird thing, and she played well. Yeah, it was a very surreal
that's
moment.
dope, though. Like that's something you talked about goals earlier. That's kind of like a goal that I have. Like, like I've obviously I've done the AAU type of games, or whatever, starting off, and I've seen some of these kids, whatever, the PALs and all these type of games, and I kind of look forward to growing with them, whatever, I guess. So like, while they're in whatever, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 6th grade, over a few years, obviously I want to work my way up to varsity level, and I want to be able to see them, as they ascend to, JV, varsity, and when they're graduating, I want to be, I remember you from so-and-so or whatever. And, it's kind of something I look forward to doing,
Yeah, they're going to be like, you still as bad as when I saw you 8 years ago. But, I was able to do a lot of playoff games. I finally did my first boys championship game, which was like amazing because I did it with one of my best friends, Greg. Shout out to Greg here, the chosen one. My man D won all the way. But me and him's been on the trenches, and we had a wild game. We had Chaminade versus St. Mary's, and it was like a dream that I was able to do a boys championship game for the first time. So, and then I was able to do the B championship, Carl Place versus East Rockaway, which was like amazing. I felt like I reffed at Farmingdale State like 10 times. And then I was able to do the Catholic League championship where St. Mary's lost inexplicably to the Sacred Heart, which was, I guess that was cool to watch that. And they deserved it. They played so well that night. And, credit to them. And I was able to do the AA state championship, which was always my goal, to finally do the AA state championship. I've done the A, I've done the B, and I've been gunning for the AA, and I finally got it. So it's cool to, mark, have all these goals and be able to have another notch on your belt, because sometimes like I went to federations, they don't have that anymore, which is the state champions versus the state championship. I already did that. So all of the goals that I have, high school wise, is backwards because I already been to the pinnacle. But I still got goals. Like I still want to achieve things. So, but all the while, like all those games, I was already burnt. So that's why I was happy to break up the monotony. We had the lacrosse class, and I really got into it. And I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, that's my recap. But now I'm trying to get back to this art thing. You see my all my facial hair is back. I feel great.
So what are you gonna do come lacrosse season though? You gonna cut it, or you gonna just let it be?
I'm cutting it after volleyball season. That's how I know back to basketball. Back to
so you're not giving lacrosse yet that same energy you did towards lacrosse.
No, because you're allowed to have it.
Oh really? Okay.
The only sport you're not allowed to have it is basketball.
Listen, I'm on the bottom of the totem. I don't know nothing. I'm just whatever. I haven't gotten there yet to. Hey, I just got contacts in, so I'm baby steps to becoming a more professional looking ref. So,
all right, well you're getting there. You're getting there. So, before we wrap this up, I did have a question for you. So,
yeah,
as we're watching the boys, I see VJ Edgecombe who, plays for Lehigh. After the season, I did a couple of Lehigh games, and then we had the fortunate experience to. Coach Rady called me up one day and was like, we got something really informal. If you can come down, cool. And I ref by myself. And, like, I love reffing by myself because, like, I remember the first time I did a softball game by myself, boy, I turned into a different ref right there. I went in my car. I'm like, I can't believe that I faked my way in being a leader that whole time. And, like, it's not fake no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing worse than when adult softball gets out of control. Telling you.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So you don't never want to be in that situation. But once you can handle that, I think I could ref Lehigh by myself in a controlled scrimmage. So I was able to do that. But then, I try to segue and get you opportunity. And, that's really important for me. I want to say in the position that I am in, as a referee, as creating referee Rant, as, my responsibility of somebody that is at a stature where, a lot of people watch what I do. I try to pay it forward and give opportunities to other people. And, I hope that you are able to benefit off of that because my network personally is only as good as the people that are in my network, right? So, I'm hoping at some point in time you're going to get your own situation. You're going to pull me in.
Pay for
I don't
it.
know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it will happen at some point.
Yeah.
It might happen in girls lacrosse. It might happen. Who knows? But I was able to pull you in on 2 Lou High scrimmages where they were preparing for the McDonald's All-American game and the Nationals. So, that goes from like middle school to doing lacrosse to flag football to like now you're reffing the number 1 team in the country in basketball. So what was that experience like for you? Aside from, reffing with me, which I would hope that it just at least eased the burden of you feeling like nervous or anything.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it definitely was a crazy thing to do, but it was cool. Obviously, working with you, I didn't have to worry about stepping in and I had you as my, I guess for lack of better terms, I guess safety blanket, I guess. But it was a scrimmage though, so the girls were good, the coaches, everyone was made the whole experience feel comfortable. So I hadn't worried about any of those things.
Yeah.
I had to go out there, look the part, but it was just really. It's funny. I think I told you during the first game, there was a point in the game where
which one you talking about? You talking about the
against the
eighth grade boy team?
Was it the Lightning? Who did they play?
No, they played the Empire eighth grade team.
Okay,
and they were good.
No, they were.
They were good.
They were really good. But it was
they were in 8th grade though.
There's a point in the game where I'm reffing now. Like I see myself reffing. I'm watching things unfold, but I had to kind of like step away from myself and like this is kind of crazy. This is kind of cool. Like these girls are really good.
Also, those kids are going to be really good too.
Yes, but like the things they were doing on the court,
insane. My face is scrunched every time. Like, it's not even like because I'm used to reffing talent, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely used to reffing. I'm not used to reffing like 2 on the same team.
Yeah.
Now we talk about 8 on the same team, and they just keep coming at you. It's awful.
Yeah.
And they act like they're not good.
But not even that though. Like a few times, like early in the game, I almost blew up, yo. I almost like kind of like, hold on, I'm getting winded here. Like they are moving. Like what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. And the final thing I'll say is that game against Mount Verde. One of the girls, I think she's like number 3 in the country. I think she played in that game.
Swords?
No. The girl from Mount Verde.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
That was the fastest basketball player I've ever reffed in my life. She is so fast. She was cooking all of them. It's just that they Lou High was a better team.
Yeah.
But she was at will faster than all of them. And you know how fast they are, right?
Yeah.
She faster than all of them.
Sheesh.
Yeah, man. So, what are you looking forward to? I guess lacrosse season, and then the summer, and then
and this is something you told me to do. Really, just stay in the moment and really just enjoy the experience because like obviously where you're at, you're it's more of a grind, I guess. It's more of a, you got these high, Lou High and Mount Verde games, whatever. There's a lot more pressure and games I'm doing, there's no pressure. It's cool. I mean, it's, yes, the pressure from like the coaches and those things, but it's definitely really on me, really.
Right.
All I gotta do is just show up, look the part, and be good at my job. But like, just stay in the moment, enjoy the games, just. Because, who knows? I mean, listen, it's 2024, man. Like, I'm blessed. I have, I'm married. I have my family. I have so many things that's dope in my life right now. And I'm kind of I'm reffing a basketball game, man. Like, I have nothing to worry about. This is just, I'm getting paid to do this too.
Word.
Good money. Like, I'm good,
even
man.
Even when
I'm
you
good
do
out
you
here.
get money. It's so crazy.
It's crazy, yo.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm looking forward to you helping me with Referee Rant, but this is just the start, man. This is a good recap. We'll leave some more meat on the bones because, in 3 months' time, we're going to be done with lacrosse and we just get back on here and just like debrief of like.
That should be fun.
Watch, it's going to be like, I did 2 varsity games because you know how I do. Any final words you want to say before we part ways?
Nah, man. I'm just excited for the ride in lacrosse and basketball, everything, man. I'm here for it.
Are you doing a fall sport this year? And you going to get into flag football or what?
Nah, baby steps. I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna do the boys class.
Right, doing the boys class.
Yeah,
that's enough. I think. That's enough.
Yeah.
Devin Ellerbe, this is Ralph the Ref. This is the Rant. We are signing out. Peace.
All right.